Looking at the bewildered Li Yiming next to him, and Yim who showed his real face at the same time, I felt a burst of laughter. Originally, they were expecting a fierce battle, but now it seems that they were thinking too much. Li Yiming has indeed accomplished the feat of overthrowing the world government. Even Yim, who is behind the scenes of the world government, has not been able to stop him, but this method is a little bit out of the ordinary. In fact, even Li Yiming, who is the person involved, did not have a particularly normal expression at this time. He never thought that the power he created would be so huge, which was a little too exaggerated. Ahem, then what, Miss can you stay a little bit farther away from me? It's not easy for us to walk so close to each other, isn't it? If it is Mr. Li Yiming's request, I will generously accept it. As he spoke, took a few steps back, but he didn't make too much distance. Seeing this scene, the corners of Li Yiming's mouth twitched uncontrollably, and suddenly he did what he had done on the spur of the moment. That's right, Li Yiming used the power of the mole of love. With the increase in strength, the impact that this magic can cause becomes more and more enormous. Even the combination of human beings and devil fruit trees, is instantly affected, and thus is charmed by the magic, and has great feelings for him. Strong love feelings. Basically, after opening the mole of love, as long as the opposite S*X is weaker than him, he will be charmed by it in an instant and fall into a deep obsession. Although it is really comfortable to be entangled by a tall blonde woman with strong capital, if she is too eager, it is still a bit overwhelming, not to mention that the goddess Faith is still on the scene, and the red-haired goddess is full of teasing. The eyes are too difficult to deal with. Fortunately, when Li Yiming cast the mole of love magic, his back was facing Gina and the others, otherwise it would probably not be Yim who is affected now, but everyone other than goddess Faith. All the girls, just thinking about that kind of face is very scary. As for being affected, this was something he had never thought of. Originally, I just planned to try it, but in the end it actually succeeded. The reason for this is probably because although swallowed the holy tree, which is the core of the devil fruit tree, the human part was assimilated by the devil fruit tree, thus possessing some characteristics of the devil fruit tree. However, its essence is undoubtedly human, and the resistance to magic power is zero, so it will be tricked. Anyway, at least Li Yiming is a real success. He really completed this real-life simulation, not only overthrew the world government, but also took down the leader of the world government, from a strange direction. Is there a possibility that his behavior can obtain the ultimate evaluation, will also raise a grade? Thinking about it this way, it doesn't seem so bad to have one more entangled woman around. Ahem, Lord God, my matter has probably been settled, and the world government can be regarded as existent in name only. Next, we can return to Orario. Then what about things here? And what about this girl? Goddess Faith had a smile on her face, and her eyes were also full of deep meaning. Her eyes pointed to who was on the side, wanting to know how to deal with this guy next. This question immediately stopped Li Yiming. Before he could come up with a suitable solution, at the side took the initiative to step forward and said in a loud voice, Master Faith, I request to be by your side, for which I am willing to give up the world. All power and status, I just hope to follow Mr. Li Yiming, and please approve it. Oh? You want to join my family? Yes, Lord Faith, please give me such a chance, please. Im's attitude is very sincere, almost humble. With such a sincere attitude, Goddess Faith also seemed a little hesitant. After all, there is probably no outstanding talent in the pirate world than The combination of humans and devil fruit trees, this novel existence immediately made the red-haired goddess interested. It would be great if it could be included in the family. But the only problem is probably that the other party's purpose is not so pure, and she has no sense of belonging to the Faith family at all, and the purpose of joining is only because of Li Yiming, which makes her very worried about the future situation. As for how many girls are around Li Yiming, this will not make her too worried. As a god, she is very confident in her own charm. Even if she fights with the children of the family, she will not lose at all. Compared with Hestia, she is very interested in this kind of thing. Here in the long years, I don't mind having such an experience. Therefore, the sight of goddess faith immediately fell on Li Yiming. What's your opinion, Yiming? Well, don't embarrass me, Lord Shangshen, I can only offer some reference opinions at most, but whether you want to include I'm into the family depends on your own thoughts. Li Yiming hurriedly raised his hand and surrendered without doing anything stupid. After all, it is not a wise act to offer another girl to join the family in front of his own Lord Shangshen. Although he does not have many opportunities to get along with girls, he will not step on the thunder in this regard. Even if there was no positive response, Goddess Faith probably got the answer she wanted. It's really slick, but I probably already have an idea. The red-haired goddess shook her head helplessly, and then quickly recovered her seriousness, and her eyes fell on I'm again. I agree to let you join the family. Excellent, the child wants to join, and I have no reason to refuse. Thank you for your approval, Lord Shangshen. I will do my best to dedicate myself to the family. Hearing this, I'm suddenly revealed a look of extreme surprise. Don't be too happy, you are now turning into a plant. If there is no way to solve this phenomenon, sooner or later you will completely turn into a tree and lose your human body. This is why you swallowed side effect of the devil fruit tree core. Then what should I do now? Immediately, I was a little flustered by these words. Originally, because of the assimilation of the devil fruit tree, she gradually lost her human emotions, but today, because of Li Yiming, she re-experienced the love in human emotions. Also because of concern, so I didn't want to turn himself into a tree. She still yearns for something more. I don't know, your current situation is very similar to the monsters in the dungeon of Olele, or you are changing in the direction of monsters. Although I can solve it through divine power, I don't intend to do so. Children, my growth is unknown, and it is my bottom line not to transform with divine power. However, although I can't make a move, you may be able to find the answer in the dungeon. Maybe you can make this change reversible. It all depends on your own choice. Immediately became silent, but it didn't take long before he raised his head again, his eyes full of determination. Even if she didn't speak, everyone already knew her answer. The next day, a piece of news that was enough to cause a sensation in the whole world appeared. The world government announced its disintegration, and I walked to the front of the stage, formally took over the power originally belonging to the world government, and told the whole world about the crimes of the Tianlong people, and at the same time wiped out all the Tianlong people, and liberated Mary Jo, who was imprisoned in the Holy Land. Yari's slave. From now on, the world government will be completely renamed as New World and People's Government. Together with the Navy headquarters, the leadership system of various countries in the world has been reformed. Although the problem of nobles and pirates has not been completely solved, at least the loss has been reduced to a minimum by 4.6. In some respects, all of Li Yiming's preparations before going to Marijoya can be said to have been in vain. Who would have thought that instead of killing Im, he would cause such a strange change in him? But in any case, this transformation is moving in a good direction. And the person who caused this series of changes was quietly spread to all parts of the sea, and the new sun god Li Yiming was born, and he was also known as the man who changed the world. However, as for what the pirate world will eventually develop into, that has nothing to do with him. Ding, it is detected that the world government has been completely recovered by the host, and the settlement requirements have been met, and the settlement is in progress. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the S+ rating. Kuana is alive, Belle is alive, the golden lion is dead, the 5 old stars are dead. The host gets a customs clearance reward. In my mind, the long-lost system notification sounded suddenly. There was no surprise at all, but Li Yiming's face revealed a faint expectation. This is the second time he has experienced this kind of situation, and the rewards for the first time can be said to be quite good, but he doesn't know if the rewards this time will be different from the last time. Taking advantage of the time, Li Yiming urged his mind and immediately opened the reward bag. Boom! Accompanied by a crisp sound, the reward bag was completely shattered, dazzling golden light scattered out, and the objects inside were soon revealed. The familiar golden key, and two very different cards. One has a burning fireball on it, as hot as the sun, and the other is a card with a wrist. At first glance, there is nothing special about it. Li Yiming couldn't wait to click on the three items in front of him, and the relevant content appeared immediately. Chapter 155 Make up for the shortcomings. The formation of the hexagonal warriors. Thanks to QZQ1 for the monthly pass. The key of the world gate, the owner, Li Yiming, can freely open the world gate to the world of One Piece, and can carry any person or object through, and the time flow of the two worlds is kept in sync. NICA's blessing, Joey Bowie from Joey Bowie's physical talent, which greatly increases the body's wrist strength and recovery ability. The grace of the sun, improved version of Escanor. It comes from the magic attribute of Escanor. The magic power will become stronger and stronger as the sun rises, until it reaches its peak state at 1 minute at noon, but the body size is not the same. It will not expand with the increase of magic power, and it can perfectly control this force without affecting the outside world. At the same time, it can still use basic magic power even at night. Good guy, take off directly. Looking at the three rewards in front of him, Li Yiming's eyes lit up immediately, and there was endless joy in the corners of his mouth, which could be said to be impossible to hide no matter how hard he tried. The rewards obtained for this real-life crossing simulation are too scary. Among other things, the improved version of the sun's grace alone is enough to make his strength rise again, and it is still extremely obvious. It is no exaggeration to say that the only shortcoming magic power has been smoothed out after receiving this reward, and it will even catch up with or even surpass the rest of the basic ability value in a short period of time. The system is really my caring little padded jacket. It will always provide something I need. Joey Bowie's physical talent is also a very good thing. At least it can improve my talent, even though I usually basically it's just that there's not much training. Li Yiming smiled self-consciously, but now it seems that the rewards that real people can get every time they pass through the simulation are probably the key to the gate, plus a reward from the local world, and a reward from the world. Various powers or items from other worlds. After experiencing two worlds in such a short period of time, he also roughly figured out some characteristics of the system. Needless to say, this feeling of lifting the veil of the system layer by layer is indeed very good, and the strong sense of anticipation is simply unstoppable. However, Li Yiming doesn't have the mind to think about other things right now. With so many good things in front of us, I believe no one can keep calm. I saw that he couldn't wait to take out the two cards from the system backpack, and first tore open the card with the wrist muscles printed on it. Bursts of fluorescent light flooded into his body instantly. In the blink of an eye, Li Yiming felt a slight change in his body. The superficial strength became more terrifying, and the softness and coordination became more excellent. However, the deeper things did not appear, but this obvious feeling was enough to satisfy him. With the thought of striking while the iron is hot, he tore another card open again. After the same special effect, with the sunlight shining in the sky, Li Yiming suddenly felt the terrifying magic power surging in his body, and the fullness almost burst him. However, he didn't feel uncomfortable, instead he felt a kind of refreshing. And the urge to vent the magic power in the body. It's such a powerful force. This kind of magical power is too terrifying. Is it the power of the sun? No wonder mages can easily crush warriors from a long distance. Those powerful magics alone are enough to overwhelm soldiers. Turn the ground over. So, can I be considered a melee mage now? In addition to the Thunderbolt fruit, he finally possessed a powerful magic again, and like the Thunderbolt fruit, the power of side effects was removed, which is simply timely rain. Maybe, Li Yiming can really create his own fighting style in the future. One hand is the fire of the sun, the other hand is the storm and thunder. Whether it is strong or not is not discussed for the time being, at least the viewing and handsomeness are indeed full. Well, it's finally over, and we can return to Orario. After feeling the surging power in his body, Li Yiming lazily stretched his body, and whispered softly in his mouth. It has been more than half a month since he came to Pirate World. There is no way to compare the simulations. I have to say, it is really a bit tiring. Now he has begun to miss the life in Olele. So are you going to leave now? A sweet voice suddenly sounded from behind. Li Yiming subconsciously turned around, and the glamorous cheeks of the goddess Faith came into view instantly. Even though her strength improved, she still didn't know who the other party was. When did it come? It's no problem to go back now. If Lord Shangshen wants to continue to wander around this world, I will accompany you. Slowly coming to the side of the goddess Faith, Li Yiming once again smelled the faint breath of gods on her body. Although her strength has become stronger, she is still a human being after all, and her resistance to gods is not as strong as imagined. Especially when faced with the fact that he cares about gods. Goddess He Faith apparently also captured his movements. Her cheeks were slightly rosy, but the obvious curvature of the corners of her mouth showed that she was in a good mood at this time. Just the behavior in front of you can tell how much the red-haired goddess loves Li Yiming. This world is beautiful, and all races are also very novel. I am very satisfied with this journey. Although there are still many places that I haven't visited, I still care more about other children in the family. I haven't seen you for so long. Still thinking about them a little bit. Actually, Lord God, your worries are completely unnecessary. After all, I said before that no matter how long we stay in this world, only 1 hour will pass by Olari. Having said that, Li Yiming's words came to an abrupt end. If it was before, he probably had that confidence, but now, it seems that he is not particularly sure. After all, when obtaining the key of the gate, the time flow of Pirate World and Orario has been synchronized. If they stay in this world for too long, it will really be detrimental to the development of He Faith's family. After all, the He Faith family does not only belong to Li Yiming, but also other adventurers. Therefore, it is impossible for Li Yiming to rely on his own strength to occupy the time of Goddess Hidos, which is unfair to others. Taking a step back, even if one day, Li Yiming does become a lover with Goddess Faith, she will not force the latter to disband her family. Such behavior is really selfish, so now, really should go back to Orario. As for playing One Piece World, we have to wait until the next time. Okay, then let's go back to Olele now. In fact, from just now, the time flow of the two worlds has been synchronized, so if we stay here for too long, there will indeed be chaos there. Well, maybe some children can come here to take risks in the future. Let's discuss this matter when we go back. Li Yiming did not reject Goddess Faith's proposal in retreat. At least for now, he doesn't mind announcing the existence of another world, including his own ability to travel to another world. With the gods unable to make a move, the adventurers in Olele no longer pose any threat to him. Therefore, no matter what kind of conspiracy it is, it has no effect on him, and now he really has the power to protect himself. In the next few days, I can probably salt the fish a little bit. Enter the dungeon if you have nothing to do, train the little loli, and then do the daily time travel simulation, and then go to other interesting worlds. There must be no more perfect life than this. However, Lord Shangshen, are we going to take Kuina and the others with us when we leave this time? Hearing Li Yiming's inquiry, Goddess Faith Herto seemed to have thought about this issue a long time ago, and immediately responded, I respect the opinions of those two children. It would be great if they would go to Oleli with us. However, if I don't want to, I won't force it. Although they have become my dependents, they are still separate individuals, so I will not restrict their actions. Then it's better to ask. If they want to leave, maybe they need to say hello to their family members. Otherwise, it feels a little bad to kidnap people like this. 11. After saying this, Li Yiming followed Goddess Faith to find Kuina and others. Most of the world's top government officials have been wiped out, so in order to maintain the stability of the sea, Im has to do it himself, and the navy, which was restricted before, has also been summoned at this time. Kuina also stayed in the World Government Office building. When Li Yiming arrived here, he also saw several very familiar faces. To be precise, he has never met each other, but he has seen them in anime in his previous life, so even if it is the first time they meet, he is no stranger to these existences. Mr. Li Yiming, you are here. Yim, who was originally talking, stood up from the throne the moment he saw Li Yiming coming, and trotted all the way to the ladder. Not only that, but she also had a little girlish smile on her face. This made the high-ranking officers of the navy, who had been respectful just now, suddenly show a look of surprise. Ah, I'm here to take a look and ask you something by the way, but it looks like you don't have any free time. Not at all, I've finished talking here. Explained almost without hesitation. As soon as these words came out, the high-ranking officers of the navy were even more surprised. Obviously, they were still listening to Lord Im's orders just now, discussing how to stabilize the sea, but the matter had not been discussed yet, and it was suddenly announced that it was over. Do you want to be so hasty? Originally, I thought that after the 5 old stars and the Tianlong people all collapsed, the world would be better again, but now it seems that it is not as simple as imagined. I always feel that the scene in front of me is not as reliable as I imagined. You don't need to be affected by my arrival. This world still needs your guidance. When everything is stable, I will personally pick you up. Fortunately, Li Yiming is quite reliable, and he didn't really believe Yim's words. He glanced back and forth at everyone on the scene, including the current Admiral of the Navy Fuji Warring States, Admiral He, the former Admiral of the Navy and the current Commander-in-Chief of the entire Army, Steel Bone Kong, and the one who was coerced by Li Yiming all the way to Marie Jun came to Jun. When Li Yiming looked at them, everyone in the Navy also looked at him with scrutiny. In fact, regarding this newly promoted criminal, the feelings of Fuji Warring States and others are extremely complicated, and the arrest warrants related to him have not been deleted yet. However, it is obviously unrealistic to continue arresting them now. Then you continue to chat, I will take Kuina and the others and leave first. Not wanting to have too much contact with the navy, Li Yiming left the palace with Kuina and Bai Seeing after appeasing Im. He inquired with the goddess Hetos. The meaning of the two little guys is that they don't have any rejection of leaving the pirate world and going to another world. On the contrary, they still have a faint expectation. Family of the world. But after hearing that they were able to come back later, the reluctance in their hearts was completely gone. After all, going to another world is no different from what it is now. Anyway, now we are sailing in various places in the sea, living in no fixed place, and unable to see family members, so it seems to go to other worlds. The world doesn't matter. After some discussion, both Kuina and Baixing agreed. Although the identity of the White Star Mermaid is very sensitive, this is a race that has never appeared in Orario, and will definitely be spied on by many gods. However, Li Yiming didn't care too much. With his current strength, it is enough to protect the people around him, so he is not worried at all. If someone really chooses to stretch his claws, he will not mind taking an early bird to do the surgery. This once and for all approach can also minimize trouble. Since there is no problem, then we are leaving. Get ready, Kuina, Shirahoshi, a new life is about to begin. Looking at the two little cats who were slightly nervous, the corners of Li Yiming's mouth were slightly raised, and his thoughts moved. The key to the gate of the realm took effect instantly, and a golden portal 170 also emerged slowly, following waves of waves, and then stabilized. Seeing this kind of scene for the first time, Kuina and Shirahoshi suddenly showed surprise expressions. Don't be in a daze, let's go. The other side is the place where the gods gather, and it is also a place where a lot of miracles are created. I hope you will like the new life. With that said, Li Yiming took the lead and walked towards the gate of the world. Just when he was about to step into it, he suddenly thought of something, his expression became full of playfulness, and his figure suddenly disappeared in place. Not long after, his figure appeared again. Goddess He Faith was very curious about what he did, but she didn't take the initiative to ask. After that, the group of four completely disappeared into the golden portal and completely disappeared. In the end, even the gates of the world disappeared. Not long after, new rumors suddenly appeared on the sea. The New World government began to respect the belief of Goddess He Faith, and it is said that if someone can reach the final island, not only can they get the big secret treasure left by the One Piece King Luoji, and can also get the opportunity to go to the place where the gods live, so as to start a new adventure. For a time, the whole sea boiled again. As the light flickered, Li Yiming and others appeared in a room. The magic stone lamp that provided lighting on the wall flickered slightly, and the familiar environment made him recognize at a glance that this was the room of Goddess He Faith in the Tower of Babel when he left before. It's the same as when I left, the only difference is that there are two more little girls in the room. Fortunately, unlike last time, Goddess Faith Hetos took the initiative to recruit 2 children, but the number is not huge, so naturally, there will not be any crowded feeling in the spacious room. Is this a different world? Kuina and Shirahoshi looked at everything around them curiously, everything seemed so new to them. The surrounding buildings are completely different from what they imagined, and it seems that they are not much different from their world. If you want to find some magical places, I'm afraid you will be disappointed. After all, Olalai's living standard is almost the same as that of Pirate World in some respects. It's almost the same, and it's even far inferior in terms of technology, so it's better not to expect too much. Before the girl felt confused, Li Yiming immediately poured cold water on her. Is it wrong to seek encounters in dungeons? Although it is a world of swords and magic, and there are gods, but in terms of living standards, in many worlds, Yuta can only be regarded as the lowest level. Not only that, even the strength is not necessarily so powerful, but in terms of digging one's own strength, the grace of God in this world is the most meticulous. Don't listen to him, this world is still very good, you will like the details. Goddess He Faith gave Li Yiming an angry look, and the latter shrugged innocently. Chapter 156 He Faith Toss, Am I actually a character in a novel? Monthly ticket plus subscription required. Yiming, go and arrange 2 rooms for little Gina and little Bakesing. No, let Tsubaki go. I suddenly remembered that there are still some things I want to ask you. Now that you have just returned to Orari, it is time to give me an answer. The expression of Goddess He Faith is full of deep meaning, and she doesn't hide it at all. If it was before, Li Yiming might still feel guilty and apprehensive, but now, he probably has already laid down, and he can guess what his red-haired goddess is going to ask. Anyway, the identity of the visitor from another world has been exposed, so even if some other things are revealed, it doesn't matter much. After all, Goddess He Faith has gained the trust of Li Yiming, making him willing to tell him some secret information. This may also be a way to narrow the distance between each other. I see, Lord Shangshen, I'm going to let the head come here. Li Yiming nodded in agreement, and quickly caught the location of Tsubaki. Since it was only over an hour before they left Orari, Tsubaki, the forging maniac, did not choose to rest at the moment. Instead, forge in your own room. As long as there is no rest, that's fine. He immediately left the room of Goddess Faith Hitos and brought Chun directly here. At this time, the imperial lady was still in a state of confusion. Ah, Master Shang Shen, have you returned from another world? It must be too soon. You feel very fast, but Yiming and I stayed in a different world for a long time, and because of the synchronization of the time flow, in order to prevent other children from feeling panic when I am not in the family for a long time, so we will choose to come back so soon. After briefly explaining the reason to Chun, the latter suddenly showed a look of enlightenment. Indeed, although the He Faith family is a craftsman family, members of the family occasionally need to meet their own gods. In addition to updating the ability value, there is also the weapon or equipment that you have forged, and hand it over to Goddess Hetos for review, and get some valuable opinions from here by the way. Even Tsubaki, known as the strongest human blacksmith, still needs guidance from his own god. I see, then, so, Kami-sama, how is this new world? Is it fun? Is it a technological world similar to the world of Kani and the others? Are there any powerful blacksmiths there? Or is there some kind of novelty? The forging material. A series of questions came out of Tsubaki's mouth. Such an agitated behavior immediately made Goddess Faith froze slightly, and even Kuina and Shirahoshi who were beside them were a little nervous when they saw such a carefree woman. After all, neither of them is the type who is good at dealing with other people. Among them, Bai Xing is the most obvious. At the beginning, even speaking with Li Yiming was difficult, and often because of certain words, he would cry directly on the spot. It was only after special training that he became a little much better. However, Tsubaki's action triggered the girl's stress response again. Give me a little more maturity, what does it look like Frizzy? Don't let the newly joined children think my family is strange, okay? Eh? Are these two members of another world who have just joined the familia? After being scolded by Goddess He Faith, Tsubaki also realized her recklessness and scratched her head in embarrassment, only then did she realize the two new faces on the scene. Especially when seeing Bai Xing, Tsubaki was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes burst into dazzling light. The bubbles at the waist supported Shirahashi's body, and the long pink fishtail was fluttering gently in the midst of restlessness, and the girl's reddish cheeks added a lot of cuteness, a feeling of. Even Tsubaki, the straight girl of steel, feels her soul has been healed at this moment. She lost control again, and jumped in front of Bai Xing, her expression full of excitement. Could it be that this child is the legendary mermaid? Isn't her singing voice particularly beautiful, and she also has the ability to charm? Yiming big brother. Chana's idiot-like behavior immediately made Bai Xing a little at a loss. The girl hurriedly swung her tail, swam to hide herself behind Li Yiming, and only dared to poke out a small head. Leader, where did you hear that mermaids can sing and have the ability to charm? What you're talking about isn't a mermaid at all, it's better to say it's a sea monster. Shirahoshi is a mermaid princess from another world. Pay attention to your behavior a little bit, don't scare her. Li Yiming's words were full of helplessness. Goddess He Faith on the side also patted her forehead helplessly. I said, can't you be a little more reserved? You will scare these children like this. Ah, I'm sorry, I'm just a little excited. After all, I've never seen a mermaid before. I'm a little excited. Tsubaki, who was aware of his behavior, hurriedly came back to his senses, with an apology on his face. She solemnly bowed to Bai Xing, who was hiding behind Li Yiming, and apologized softly, I'm sorry, I was wrong just now, didn't I scare you? Let me introduce myself, my name is Tsubaki Kobranda, I'm he head of the Faith family, welcome to join the family, feel free to ask me if you don't understand anything in the future. Hello, leader, my name is Kuina, please give me more advice in the future. Sensing the kindness from Tsubaki, Kuina took the lead in introducing herself. Although Bai Xing still had lingering fears at the moment, under Li Yiming's encouraging eyes, she quickly calmed down and stuck out most of her little head. Hello, leader, my name is Bai Xing, a mermaid from Mermaid Island, nice to meet you. It's really a mermaid. It turns out that this kind of race really exists. You are too cute, little Bai Xing. Don't worry, I will take good care of you in the future. Although there were some episodes in the first meeting, the final result was not bad. Okay, Tsubaki, please arrange 2 rooms for Xiao Bai Xing and Xiao. They'll be in the Tower of Babel, and I'll prepare another room for Yiming. Although the environment of the weapon shop on Adventurer Avenue is good, but there's no way to compare it to here. Understood, Lord Shangshen. Chun nodded clearly, then looked at Li Yiming next to him with deep eyes, and then quickly moved away. Then little Bai Xing, little Gina, come with me. Bar. Go. Although Tsubaki's character is a bit out of character, she is not bad. I still have something to say with Lord Shangshen. I will go to you guys after the conversation is over. Li Yiming's words are obviously more effective than Chun's. After finishing the words, Kuina took the initiative to hold Shirahashi's hand, followed Tsubaki, and left the room of Goddess Faith Hidos. For a time, only Li Yiming and Goddess Faith were left in the room. Hearing the sound of footsteps walking farther and farther away until finally disappearing, the red-haired goddess gaze fell on Li Yiming, full of deep meaning and at the same time with a faint smile. Now, Yiming, let's talk about you two. No problem, Lord Shangshen, as long as I know, I will know everything and say everything. Don't be so serious, sit down and talk slowly. Goddess He Faith patted the chair beside her and signaled Ji Yiming to sit over. The latter is not too reserved, even if he is in the same room with the gods, but he has been so many times, and he is used to this kind of behavior, and he will not be as distracted as he was at the beginning. Of course, only when talking about business. If it's just a simple chat, then I'm sorry, what Li Yiming is thinking, even he himself has no way to guarantee it. The other world is really interesting. In fact, as early as a long time ago, the gods have begun to realize the existence of the different world, and they are looking for a way to go to the different world, but even the most powerful gods can't do it. Get out of this world. So when I learned that Yiming came from another world and you have the ability to travel to another world, I was taken aback. A very classic opening statement, but it is also the heartfelt words of Goddess Faith. She is really fortunate that when Li Yiming came to recommend herself, she took Li Yiming under her command on a whim, otherwise, she might have missed those wonderful worlds. Master Shangshen, you are too polite. In fact, it is thanks to you that I was able to become an adventurer and awaken such a special ability. No, I just gave you the God's grace, and I didn't do anything else. Even if you don't join my family, other gods can still activate the potential in your body, so that you can start your journey the ability of another world. I am just lucky. Goddess He Faith smiled lightly and shook her head. She had a very clear understanding of herself. She didn't give other people the ability to open portals to other worlds. After all, that was Li Yiming's own ability, which even the gods didn't have. With so many different worlds, Herdos has every reason to believe that sooner or later, Li Yiming will catch up with these gods, and even completely surpass them. At that time, the looks of the other gods will definitely be particularly exciting. Then let's get down to business, Yiming. I also visited 2 different worlds with you, and more or less knew something about it, so can you tell me why you know so much about these 2 different worlds? There is something somewhere, as if you know it, as if. The goddess had faith pondered the words in her mind, and soon had thoughts. Omniscient and omnipotent, that's right, it is omniscient and omnipotent. Your understanding of other worlds is almost terrifying. It really gives me a feeling of omniscience and omnipotence. You know, That's something that even I can't do. It's unbelievable. So, Yiming, do you really know about other worlds, or does your first skill tell you the basic situation of those worlds before going there? Speaking of this, Goddess He Faith suddenly showed a curious look on her face. Hearing this, Li Yiming was slightly taken aback, and then realized that his red-haired goddess attributed all her abilities to the skill Almighty Man, which surprised him a little. However, he had no intention of explaining. Sometimes, a beautiful misunderstanding is not a bad thing, at least not to embarrass Li Yiming, and to avoid disclosing the existence of the system. But apart from the system, other things can still be told to the other party. My lord, you misunderstood. Before I went to the different world, no one told me any information about the different world. As for why I can know so much, in fact, before I became an adventurer and obtained magical powers, I already understood. Oh? What does this mean? Goddess Faith narrowed her eyes tightly, her eyes full of inquiry. She probably also realized that the next words might subvert her cognition. In fact, it is true. Master Shang Shen, the next words can be. It may be difficult for you to accept, so no matter what happens, please don't get excited and listen to me patiently. Don't worry, I'm not as fragile as you imagined. Rather, I'm curious about what you'll say next. In that case, I'm relieved. Li Yiming breathed a sigh of relief, and then his expression became serious. Some things are too complicated to explain, so I will pick a few simple explanations. The world I lived in my previous life was similar to the world of Demon Slayer. The only difference is that the time I lived in was pushed back by about 100 years. I don't know about special powers, but at least from what ordinary people can see, without any special powers, human beings can only live for about 8 or 90 years. Technology for a living. Sounds very ordinary. Goddess He Faith interjected softly. Yes, it is indeed very common. If adventurers survive by entering dungeons to obtain magic stones, then the world I lived in my previous life relied on non-stop work to earn rewards. Although life is not as colorful as that of adventurers, it is very stable. When he said this, Li Yiming's eyes shone with a faint brilliance. He has been away for a long time, and he misses his previous life very much. Although every day is the same, and there are no relatives, there are still some shining points. Maybe this is human beings, always full of nostalgia. Sorry, it's a little bit far-fetched. Li Yiming, who quickly came back to his senses, smiled apologetically, and then continued, although the world in the previous life was very ordinary, the entertainment-related projects are exceptionally good. Among them is a kind of reading material called light novels, which should be converted into the storybook of this world. 17. F. Light novels record various stories and provide them for people to read. Master Shang Shen, you must be very curious, why do I use names such as Demon Slayer and One Piece to call the two worlds? Ah, I was really curious before, but now I probably have guessed something. If I guessed correctly, the light novel you mentioned should record, Good Zhao Hao, Another World. Related stories from the world. The tone of Goddess Faith Hitos was calm, but there was a turbulent sea in her heart. That's right, just as you think, Lord Shang Shen, in the world I lived in my previous life, there were a lot of light novels, among which there were Demon Slayer, Blade, One Piece. These two books tell the story of Connie and Kuina's world. Moreover, Li Yiming's words paused slightly, and after pondering for a moment, he continued, actually, not only that, there is also a book called Is It Wrong to Find Encounters in the Dungeon? What is the light novel, which tells the story of the Labyrinth City Orari, in which many characters appear on the stage, including the Ilaiya family, the Loki family, He Faith Tas family and Hestia family and so on. Later, this light novel was adapted into manga and anime, in which the image of the goddess Hestia was forged, just like you, Kami-sama, God Hestia. Also exactly the same. This is also the reason why I know so much about the different world. Compared with being able to travel to the different world, perhaps knowing the detailed information about the different world is my greatest ability. Li Yiming couldn't help but feel a lot better when he revealed everything he knew in one breath. Sure enough, the feeling of holding something in my heart is not particularly beautiful, and it feels much better after I say it, but it may not be so beautiful for Goddess Faith. Well, light. After all, it is not that simple to accept that you are actually a character in a storybook. Thinking of this, Li Yiming suddenly showed a worried expression. What if my red-haired goddess can't think about it for a while? Li Yiming quickly explained, Master Shangshen, don't think too much, this is just what I know, but it doesn't mean that Olelai was created by someone from my previous life, Mr. Shangshen. You are also absolutely real, but for some reason, the story of this world was captured by the writer in my previous life just now and written out. Chapter 157 Forging the Love Song of the Goddess. Thanks for the monthly pass of Forget Yourself Sai. It seems that Li Yiming is afraid that his goddess will get into a dead end, Li Yiming hastened to explain. However, this kind of worry is completely unnecessary. As a god, even if he doesn't know how he was born and is born with powerful power, the goddess Faith never doubts whether she is real. The red-haired goddess looked at Li Yiming's hurried appearance, and felt a little happy for no reason. This feeling of being worried is really gratifying. Don't worry, Yiming, I won't doubt my existence because of this kind of thing. After all, no one knows my own situation better than me. Maybe it's just like what you said. The author who wrote these light novels is definitely you must have received a revelation from another world. There was another sentence that was not spoken. In fact, even among the current adventurers of Orario, some of them have the ability to predict. Although the accuracy is not flattering, the two are indeed similar. After knowing the news, she was not depressed, but full of joy. As a god who has lived for hundreds of millions of years, even if he possesses great power and can almost be said to be immortal, even if he is killed, he can still be revived somewhere in the heaven after tens of thousands of years. There are still many things that even the gods cannot explain. After the long battle of gods, the gods were tired, so they turned their attention to other places. To put it simply, all the gods have become happy people, chasing all unknown new things, and gaining some exciting experiences from them. But now, the surprise that Li Yiming brought to her Faith became obviously bigger. Again, Yiming, what is the name of our world called Dungeon Encounter? Is there something wrong with seeking encounters in dungeons? Seeing that Goddess Faith's demeanor does not seem to be fake, Li Yiming breathed a sigh of relief, and at the same time said the name of the light novel corresponding to this world again. The next moment, the red-haired goddess had a slightly strange expression. Although she hasn't seen the content of this light novel with her own eyes, she can feel it just by hearing the name, and it doesn't look like a biography of a hero. Or are all light novels named in this way? Then have you read this work in your previous life? Goddess Faith asked again. How should I put it? When it came to this topic, Li Yiming scratched his head in embarrassment. I did read this light novel in my previous life, but at that time, because the update was too slow, so I was going to hoard it and read it all at once, but I didn't expect that before I had time to do that kind of thing. I don't know why I suddenly came to this world 833, so I probably can't know the following content. Oh? Is that so? What a pity. Hearing this sentence, Goddess Faith also showed a regretful expression. But she quickly cheered up again, with strong curiosity in her eyes. It doesn't matter if you don't know everything, just tell what you remember. I also want to know what will happen to Oleli in the future things. If you are curious, Lord Shangshen, of course I will not refuse. Li Yiming nodded, and after a little thought, he agreed to tell what he knew. In fact, the Loki family has just completed the first expedition, and the second will probably be conducted soon. That is, when the expedition returns, the plot will officially begin. Maybe the White Rabbit has arrived in Orario by now? I just don't know if the other party will join Hestia's family like the original track. After all, because of his influence, Hestia has already established her own family, and the members of the family are quite outstanding. It won't be so hungry. But even if she can join the Hestia familia, the goddess Laurie's feelings for Belle will not be the same as in the original book, probably just as an ordinary child. The world of seeking encounters in the dungeon is wrong. I generally call it the world of Wrong Earth, is a world of swords and magic, and it is also a place where gods gather, although the name is a bit strange, but it is indeed a biography about a certain hero growing up from a weak state, and the protagonist of the story, Lord Shangshen, should be no stranger to you. He is your god friend, the story of Hestia's family. One day, I came from the countryside to the labyrinth city Orari. After sorting out the memories in his mind, Li Yiming began to tell the story in a concise manner. Without any embellishment, in a completely neutral posture, she told all the situation to Goddess Faith, who also showed a little surprise. Especially when hearing about Belle's abilities, the whole person couldn't help showing a look of surprise. The magic stone lamp in the room flickered lightly. Because of the time difference between the two worlds, Li Yiming and Goddess Hitos were not particularly sleepy, so there was no need to rest, and they had enough time to complete storytelling. The relationship between the speaker and the listener is thus established. Not only that, but it is also the story of Hestia's family. Goddess Hestia is also very interested. She did not expect that the useless goddess who was obviously just a rice bug would be on the original track. Luckily finds such a good kid. Such good luck is really enviable. However, when Goddess Faith saw the young man in front of her, that slight sense of envy disappeared immediately. Even the most powerful adventurer is definitely not as good as this child of his own. As time passed, the sky had completely dimmed. The dark clouds in the sky still haven't dissipated, and the light rain covered the whole of Orario. It was getting late, and most of the adventurers had returned to their respective residences. Even if they didn't want to rest so early, they still agreed 3 or 5 friends went to the tavern for a drink. In the Tower of Babel, there are very few adventurers, enough to see how long this story took. Suddenly, Li Yiming's voice stopped abruptly. This made Goddess Hitos, who had been immersed in the state of listening to the story, startled slightly, and when she realized something, "Is it over?" "That's right, I saw this place in my previous life. Although I can't know the story behind it, but the previous ones alone are enough to shock people's hearts. I didn't expect that guy Hestia to be lucky. He can pick up such an excellent child while walking on the road. It's really amazing." As she spoke, Goddess Hitos had a slightly weird look on her face, and she smiled like a self-deprecating one. "However, no matter how you look at it, I seem to be a tool to help the protagonist. Not only did I personally create a short blade that can grow, but even my own family's children were abducted. If you think about it this way, all the advantages were taken by that guy Hestia. But Welf's child, the knot in his heart has been untied, which is really unexpected." Words of exclamation burst out from the mouth of the red-haired goddess. Her current mood can be described as quite complicated. After all, even in the stories and biographies of this world, she is not the protagonist, and it can even be said that the entire Orari family has become a foil for the Hestia family. This made the goddess Hitos, the founder of the strongest craftsman family of Orario, not knowing what to say at this time. I can only sigh in my heart that the unknown of human beings is too elusive. It's the same even as a god. Ahem, then what, Lord God, what do you think of Welf Krizo? By the way, I haven't seen him since I joined the Faith family." Li Yiming coughed twice, and suddenly interrupted. "Welf? He is a very talented child. He will probably be back in the next few days. You will be able to see him then. What's the matter? No, I'm just a little curious. By the way, I want to ask for advice on how to forge a magic sword. Is that so? The brisk words sounded, and the sight of goddess He Faith came over. This usually gentle and serious goddess, the expression at this time has become very playful, with an indescribable smile flickering between her brows. Color, got Ji Yiming a guilty conscience. The latter subconsciously looked away, and still replied stubbornly, of course, I am also a member of the family, and we will meet often in the future. Naturally, we need to get to know each other well. It turned out to be like this. I thought some people were jealous because of the story just now. Who is jealous? Even if you are a god, you must not say such things indiscriminately. If it were in our previous life, I can definitely sue you for defamation. At this time, Li Yiming was like a cat whose tail was stepped on, bjdh, his hair exploded instantly, and his reaction was very violent. However, he obviously forgot that even after returning to Orario, Goddess Hetos once again sealed the divine power in her body, human beings still couldn't lie in front of her. Sensing the obvious strangeness, the smile on Goddess Faith's face became brighter and brighter. Sure enough, no matter how good the children are, they will have some very sensitive things. It is really wonderful to watch their weird expressions. Unknowingly, even Goddess Faith began to change in the direction of fun people. The gods feed on pleasure. They yearn for differences and freshness. With the appearance of Li Yiming, his ability is like a tube of powerful nutrition, which affects her faith's nerves. After getting along for so long, the latter can be regarded as a preliminary get to know the other person's personality. No matter what time, it is calm, as if everything is under control. It is also for this reason that when a completely different look appears on its body, it will make the goddess Faith feel happy, and at the same time be attracted by such a child. Even if what you said is right. Goddess Faith did not continue to delve into it. Appropriate playfulness is good for increasing the relationship between each other, but if it is too deliberate, it is easy to make people angry. There are too many children, she can be regarded as summed up some experience. However, there is one thing I want to make clear to you. Although you have roughly learned about Oleli through some special biographies, and even the situation of some gods, it is indeed as true as you said, but many things are not true. Like you think. Early after you came to this world, many things have been changed, such as my family members, my idea of recruiting children, and Hestia. Many things will not happen. So no matter what, you don't have to worry about wealth. After all, before him, there has already been an existence that caught my eye and refreshed my eyes. Do you understand what I mean? When she said this, the tone of Goddess Faith Hitos was extremely serious. Even so, she still had a faint smile on her face. Li Yiming froze in place slightly, and after repeatedly experiencing the words of Goddess He Faith, he also instantly understood what the words of his Lord God meant. The next moment, he raised his head and looked at Faith's eyes that were almost shining brightly. Master Shang Shen, what do you mean? Isn't this a matter of course? Feeling the hot gaze, he was able to calmly say some bold words just now, but in the blink of an eye, He Faith's cheeks also turned red inexplicably, and he was determined. His eyes suddenly began to wander. At the beginning, we had agreed that as long as you could forge a weapon that I recognized, I would agree to associate with you. Although your black knife still has many shortcomings, it can be regarded as reaching the edge. As a naturally, the gods can't go back on their promises, so they can only take advantage of you. 11. Things like liking and love don't need to be preached to death. Sometimes, a conversation that moistens things silently can also prove its nobility. At least, the words of Goddess He Faith have nourished the young man's heart like spring rain. Although Li Yiming is relatively slow, he will not do things that spoil the scenery. It is hard to imagine that such arrogant words really came from the mouth of the red-haired goddess. But it is precisely because of this sense of contrast that it is more beautiful, isn't it? The atmosphere at the scene became ambiguous in an instant. Li Yiming just looked at Goddess Faith in silence. At this moment, he only had her eyes and nothing else in his eyes. However, Faith, who had never had such an experience, was extremely disturbed in her heart. Seeing that Li Yiming didn't speak, she immediately gave him a shy look, and said viciously, "So how long are you going to make me wait? If you dare to refuse, I will definitely not let you go." "Ah. Oh, sorry, Lord Shangshen, it's mainly because I was too surprised, so I was a little distracted." Li Yiming, who came back to his senses, quickly waved his hands, saying that he didn't mean that. "What are you kidding? This can be regarded as the goddess' confession on her own initiative. If he refuses cruelly, I'm afraid he won't let Goddess Hetos treat him well in the future." What's more, Li Yiming didn't intend to refuse. The hasty life of the previous life is worth remembering, but that is the past. In this life, he must first live more easily, rely on his strong strength, and then do what he likes to do. Go to protect the people you want to protect, and enjoy the scenery along the way. There is no doubt that during this period, someone needs to go with you, otherwise it will be very lonely. Master Shangshen, no, he Faith Toss, in fact, I have expressed my heart a long time ago, and I am very serious. Although I may not match your qualifications now, I believe that I will always one day I will reach your level, or even surpass you. So, I will bring you happiness, Faith. Li Yiming slowly stretched out his right hand, and his firm eyes were illuminated by the lights, making him look even more gorgeous. Even Faith, who was used to seeing excellent adventurers, couldn't help being shaken at this time. She subconsciously passed her hand over. "Since it's your guarantee, I'm naturally willing to believe it. However, if you only plan to play for fun, if you plan to abandon me ruthlessly one day, I will never let you go. Even if you violate the regulations to unseal the divine power, I will kill you and lead your soul to go to the heavens, store it forever and ever, and sit down for me to be enlightened." While speaking, he Faith's expression was also full of vicious. However, in Li Yiming's line of sight, there is always a feeling of fierceness and inwardness. This kind of appearance really gives people an indescribable cuteness. "Faith, your worries are completely unnecessary. As long as it gets into my hands, don't try to escape. Instead of worrying about me, it's better to say that if you want to escape someday in the future, cancel this as soon as possible. Have a good idea, otherwise, what kind of things I will do, even I don't know." Li Yiming pulled He Faith into her arms, fully feeling the delicate body and fragrance of the goddess. At this moment, this famous forging goddess truly belongs to him alone. Chapter 158 The Promise of the Three Goddesses. Monthly ticket plus subscription required. After being tender for a while, her Faith recovered from the state of excitement. Looking up at Li Yiming's side face, he burst out laughing suddenly. "You are so domineering. How dare you speak to your master god like that? Do you think I should care about your offense? If other children know about this, they may be very disappointed with their gods. Your children can't be restrained. This is not an offense, it's just a heartfelt statement. Although I didn't feel the slightest lie from your words, but for some reason, your words made me feel like I was being deceived by you. You shouldn't be treating me like a child coax." This almost coquettish voice made Li Yiming laugh subconsciously. Seeing He Faith's serious expression, he quickly suppressed his smile and nodded slightly. "I know, if it's her Faith Toss's request, then I will naturally not refuse, and I don't have that kind of bad personality. I won't let other people see this kind of very private words. However, I really didn't expect that it was the first time for you, Faith, to experience this kind of thing. I was a little surprised, or you can call it a surprise. What? Do you think that my private life is as chaotic as Freya's? Her Faith's tone was extremely sharp, and even her eyesight could be said to be extremely sharp. At this time, as long as a normal person can hear the deep meaning in the words, Li Yiming is no exception. In order to prevent the happy ending of finally embracing the beautiful woman from being shattered, he quickly shook his head frantically, expressing that he is not like that Sun thought. No, that's not what I meant. It's just that in my impression, among the virgin goddesses in the heavens, there should only be Hestia, goddess of Vesta, Athena, goddess of wisdom, and Artemis, goddess of hunting. Maybe I was preconceived, that's why I said that. Humph, even if you pass the test, but this is just the outside world's opinion. Gods generally exist for hundreds of millions of years. During the period, because of boredom, many gods will be more or less entangled with each other, but there are still some exceptions. That is, the existence known as the Virgin Goddess. Besides Hestia and the others, I am actually one of them. Because I am a forging god, and for some reasons, no male god is willing to pursue me. After all, no man likes an ugly girl. Goddess. When he said this, Hess looked very depressed. The topic has obviously offended the scar of the red-haired goddess. Li Yiming's expression changed instantly, he let go of his hands, and turned to stare at the latter's eyes with fiery eyes, with an extremely serious expression. Listen, Faith, like I said, your looks may not be perfect, but there is no need to be sad about it. It is undoubtedly the most stupid thing to do. There are no perfect people in the world, including gods. At least I don't mind your appearance, but I like it very much. You should be able to feel my heart. Reaching out to hold her Faith's hand, Li Yiming's attitude can be described as extremely firm. When two people are together, you need to accept the most real each other. You feel that you are not perfect, but I am very fortunate. If it is not because of its existence, you will not meet me at the most complete time. There is no doubt that this is the arrangement of God. If you don't like the marks on your face, then I will make a promise here. No matter how many different worlds you travel to, I will find the most perfect way to completely restore your face. This is my promise to you. After saying this, he put his hand around the back of Faith's head and took off his blindfold. He could clearly feel the slightly trembling heart of the red-haired goddess, and the imperfection revealed again made his heart extremely uneasy. However, until the blindfold covering the right cheek slipped off, revealing the entire cheek, she didn't make a move to stop it. For me, no matter what you look like, I can accept and love you deeply. Women are extremely emotional beings, even female gods are no exception. Under the revealing of Li Yiming's true feelings, Faith Hurtos had recovered from the decadent state, her eyes were filled with moisture, and she tiptoed lightly the next moment. Everything looks so beautiful. After a while, the two slowly separated, and a smile finally appeared on the face of the red-haired goddess. It's great to meet you, Yiming. I remember your promise, although you can accept me now, but I want to show you the most perfect side, and I don't want others to treat me I'm pointing fingers. Anyway, I'm also a goddess. Ah, leave it to me, I'll find a way. Li Yiming smiled slightly, and finally coaxed her Faith. In fact, among the heavens and worlds, there are countless worlds with magical powers, and some of them are completely incomparable even to the gods. It's like Dun Shun Liuhua in the world of death, who can reject all bad influences and return to the desired state. Although it is not clear whether that kind of power can heal Faith Ta's face, after all, the latter's appearance is natural. But no matter what, you need to try it out. Therefore, no matter what price and effort one pays, as long as Faith wants to, then he will do it. Even if you encounter any difficulties and obstacles, you will not hesitate. Then please, Yiming, it's getting late, we just came back from another world, let's go back to rest early. I will trouble you to bring Kuina and the others tomorrow, and register as an adventurer. It's very busy to learn a little bit about the underground city. Such unpleasant words suddenly burst out of the warm atmosphere. Hearing this, Li Yiming's body froze slightly, his sense of knowledge and domineering poked out, and he instantly understood the situation outside the Tower of Babel. The sky has already reached midnight, so it seems a little bad to leave like this. Thinking of this, his eyeballs turned slightly, and suddenly he thought of something. The corners of his mouth slightly outlined a strange arc. He lowered his head, showing eyes as if seeing a lamb. The next moment, he stretched out his hand, and the magic stone lamp in the room went out instantly. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and the only remaining moonlight shone in, so that some outlines could be seen in the room, and the expression on Li Yiming's face could also be seen naturally. Faith, who realized something, her body became extremely stiff, and the calm and warm feeling just now disappeared instantly. In the darkness, after she relaxed, she pushed and fed the boy's chest with all her strength, as if she wanted to get out of the latter's chest. Escaped from his arms. Then what, Yiming? I feel that you are still a little too anxious. It's getting late, give me a little time to prepare mentally. Why don't we go on a date tomorrow? Hey, Faith, I only have a lifespan of a mere 100 years, and the waiting time is too long, so I'm only fighting for the day. Liar, you have the ability to travel to another world, how could you worry about your lifespan, alas? At this moment, her Faith was speechless. Her heart is quite complicated. She is about to scold Li Yiming to death. She really shouldn't believe the man's nonsense. She was obviously a serious person before, but now she has such a big change. What ABD? 0118111019 #234430550. The next day, Li Yiming slowly opened his eyes and woke up from his sleep. Recalling what happened last night and the tearful scene of Faith, the corners of his mouth involuntarily drew an obvious arc. This kind of joy can be described as indescribable. It has to be said that female gods are indeed very different. With Faith's body sealed with divine power, even an adventurer's body, how could it be Li Yiming's opponent, and he was easily defeated in the training. I didn't expect that I could be favored by the gods. I didn't even dare to think about it before. After a short period of joy, Li Yiming involuntarily let out an exclamation. So you are very proud now, right? A hoarse voice sounded in his ears, and when he turned his head, he saw the haggard face of Goddess Faith and her fierce eyes, as if trying to swallow him alive. The transformation was completed in such a muddle-headed manner, which made it difficult for the red-haired goddess to accept. However, she wasn't particularly angry. It was just because she wasn't ready. She was a little bit entangled. Ahem, Faith, are you awake? Are you hungry? Realizing that something was wrong, Li Yiming quickly laughed awkwardly, and said courteously. However, in exchange for it, Faith rolled his eyes angrily. Now if you want to please me, you should avoid it. I have begun to regret it. Why did I listen to your nonsense yesterday? I believe you are a good person, it's a big loss. Hey. Unable to find any words to reply, Li Yiming could only start giggling. Forget it, I fell under your hands. If you dare to abandon me in the future, no matter how powerful you become, I will never let you go. That will never happen, Herdos. Li Yiming stretched out his hand to hold Faith into his arms, and said sincerely. Humph. The red-haired goddess snorted coldly, as if she was still expressing her dissatisfaction, but she didn't show any particular resistance. Since she had already chosen the child in front of her, she would remain steadfast no matter what happened. Feeling the temperature this time, my mood became ethereal. I don't know how long it has been. By the way, if I remember correctly, the current time is about the time when Bel Cranel arrives in Olele, right? Although he was puzzled why Faith asked this, Li Yiming nodded honestly. It is true at this time, he is either still on the way, or has already arrived in Orario, and then in the process of joining the family, I faced various obstacles. What's wrong? I just want to know how you plan to deal with this matter. After all, because of your intervention, the child should not meet Hestia, and based on your previous attitude towards Hestia, you should also don't want him to continue to join Hestia's family. Rot. Faith's tone was full of resentment, and his eyes became slightly unkind. Faced with this kind of questioning, Li Yiming didn't dare to answer, he could only laugh awkwardly with guilt all over his face. Seeing this, Faith, who had finally calmed down, became unhappy again, and immediately kicked Li Yiming out of the room. Accompanied by the heavy slamming of the door, Li Yiming was turned away before Li Yiming could react. Greedy guy, don't enter my room without my permission during this time, don't come to see me without my summons, get out of here quickly. The roaring sound in the room made Li Yiming's hand that was about to knock on the door freeze in place. Sure enough, it is not so easy to enjoy the blessings of all people, but then again, he is only thinking about it, and has not put it into action at all. He must have brought the blame for such a dismal end. Sighing helplessly, he could only turn around and leave the door, disappearing at the end of the corridor. In the room, hearing the sound of footsteps getting farther and farther away, the anger on her Faith's face also gradually disappeared. Recalling Li Yiming's reaction just now, she snorted again, "What a dishonest child, how could you still? It is really greedy to be favored by many goddesses, but... it's really cheap." When saying this, Faith recalled in her mind what happened in the heaven a long time ago. The relationship between her and Hestia and Artemis is fairly close. Before the lower world, they once gathered together to drink, and all three of them got drunk. I don't know where the convulsions came from, and I talked about the man when I was chatting. The crazy Hestia suggested that after the lower world, if they meet outstanding children, they must share them, and if one of them finds the other half, then as a good girlfriend, naturally you have to marry the same person. At that time, because it was too confused, including Artemis, they all chose to agree. As a result, the three of them have been virgins for hundreds of millions of years. Whether it is Hestia or Artemis, there is an endless stream of male gods who pursue them on weekdays. It's just that she never expected that it would be her Faith, the first to leave this title. If I let my two good friends know, I will definitely go crazy. Really, I knew I wouldn't agree to such absurd things at the beginning, but it doesn't matter. Maybe Hestia and Artemis have already forgotten the previous agreement, and there is still room for maneuver in everything. Really, if it doesn't work, then you can only take advantage of that BD. After slightly sighing, her Faith lay down again, covered the quilt and fell into a deep sleep. I was really tired last night, even now I can feel my whole body limp, and I have no motivation to do other things at all. So, just take a little rest for a day. Thinking in this way, it didn't take long for Faith to fall asleep again. The quiet appearance is even more charming, and the slightly raised corners of the lips seem to be telling the beauty of the red-haired goddess Dream at this time. The other side. After leaving Faith's room, Li Yiming found the area where the family members lived, and the core members were very close to Faith's residence. He randomly chose an unoccupied room and hung his name outside the door. This will be his future residence in the Tower of Babel. To be able to own such a large property in the Tower of Babel, I have to feel the wealth of the Faith family. Back in the room, Li Yiming sat on a chair. His strong physical fitness makes him feel no sleepiness at all. Even if he is allowed to go into the dungeon for an expedition now, there will be no problem. Speaking of which, do I need to intervene about the rabbit? Recalling her Faith's question, Li Yiming frowned slightly and muttered to herself with a thoughtful face. As the righteous grandson of Zeus, Belcranal can be said to be the real son of destiny. He has been trained by Zeus since he was a child. He has extraordinary potential, and there are gods paving the way for him. The only troublesome thing that is, this guy is too a little bit more than the virgin. At least in this respect, he doesn't know how far Tanjiro Kamata has pulled him down. If Bell still joins the Hestia Familia, it might cause some unnecessary troubles in the future, and it would be bad if it affects Yoyama Yayashiki and others. Anyway, he is also his friend, and he always needs to pay attention to it. So, it's better not to let him join, go directly to the Freya Familia. Having made up his mind, Li Yiming decided that it would be better to intervene in this matter. I don't have any other thoughts, mainly because in the original book, Freya likes Bell so much, that kind of feeling is simply too touching, and he doesn't mind deceiving the beauty of adults. 1 dies 1. Chapter 159, Purple Talent Lucky. Space Fruit. Thanks for the reminder and monthly pass of Deep Shadow Abyss. I believe no one can refuse such a thing as the beauty of an adult. You know, although Freya has some minor problems, she is a true beauty god, favored by countless adventurers and male gods, and I don't know how many people want to spend the spring night with her. Even some women can't escape their charm. Such a beautiful goddess. If Bell knows that he has matched her for her, he will definitely express his sincere gratitude. This is doing good deeds, and Li Yiming immediately felt very fulfilled. Definitely not because of Hestia, definitely not. Find some time to search inside Orario. Maybe you can also ask the Adventurers Guild to help you find it. The current Orario is too weak, it's not enough for me to toss around alone. Maybe send Bell to Freya, go among the family members and train an enemy by yourself, it won't be so boring. Although the last person who did this, the final result was very miserable. After finding a good reason, Li Yiming finally convinced himself. Just as the thoughts in his mind stopped suddenly, the mechanical sound of the system suddenly appeared. This sudden feeling was a little unexpected. The simulation of real-life crossing is over, and the reward settlement is in progress. After the final settlement, you survived the simulation for 2 months, but you can still get rewards due to customs clearance. The final evaluation is S+, and you can choose 3 from the following rewards. Purple Talent Lucky Superman Space Fruit, no side effect version, Superman Piao Fruit, no side effect version, Treasure Tree Atom Seed, Moon Clan full set of technology. Oh! So the simulated rewards have finally arrived. Hearing the voice in his head, Li Yiming suddenly realized. No wonder he always felt like something was missing, and he didn't figure out what it was until now. It turned out to be the reward of 07 Lord after each time he crossed the simulation. Having said that, it seems that he hasn't performed a time travel simulation for a long time. With the improvement of strength, basically relying on a small number of simulations, the final evaluation can reach a very impressive level. Sometimes it only takes a day or 2 to obtain the qualification to open the simulation of real people. This kind of progress is a little too scary. To be honest, even Li Yiming himself feels terrified occasionally. Perhaps the focus in the future does not need to be on improving strength, the initial period has passed, and now all he needs is precipitation. 3 options. It feels pretty good. 2 devil fruits, 1 talent, and 2 other things. Whether it is Treasure Tree Atom or the technology of the moon race, they are all rare things, not weaker than the other 3 rewards, but the fields involved are different. It seems very difficult to choose, but after a little thought, Li Yiming has made a decision. Although the branches of the precious tree atom are very hard, they are completely incomparable with the trees guarded by the elves in this world. Perhaps the materials can be obtained through planting. But this thing can be obtained in the pirate world, and the same is true for the full set of Moon Clan technology. If Li Yiming remembers correctly, the Moon of Pirate World also has the technology of the Moon Clan. This point was confirmed as early as when Enilo was defeated by Wang Luffy and went to the Infinite Land by boat. Some of them may be more or less missing, but they are not impossible to obtain. And for Orari, technology is not that important. The main reason is that there are no members with professional counterparts, so even if they get it, no one can conduct research. Instead of wasting an option, it is better to find a time to get the technology on the moon of Pirate World, and then hand it over to Vegapunk to study it. System, I choose reward 1-2. Ding, the reward selection is successful, the purple talent lucky is automatically changed to the development ability luck, and the development ability level is assigned to B according to the talent level. Congratulations to the host for getting lucky B. In the blink of an eye, Li Yiming gained a development ability again. Sure enough, it was right to choose the mysterious development ability when leveling up before, otherwise the development ability will not only overlap now, although the level of development ability may become higher because of the superposition, but there will be one less development ability. Ability, the current situation is very good. Smiling very satisfied, Li Yiming opened the system backpack again with a thought. There are 2 more grids occupied, which are 2 fruits with completely different shapes. The appearance of the fruits looks extremely strange, and it can even be said to be very scary. However, Li Yiming couldn't hide his inner excitement. After all, among the rewards that appeared this time, there was an ability that he had been thinking about for a long time. Is this the space fruit? It should be regarded as the superior ability of the door fruit. Looking at the pure white devil fruit in his hand, Li Yiming's eyes were full of heat. Through the outer peel, the internal situation of the fruit can be seen at a glance. You must know that time and space are the most mysterious powers no matter which world they are in, and further up are fate and other mysterious terms. Li Yiming doesn't expect to be able to control the so-called destiny, at least he can get the space ability now, he is already very satisfied. Since it is a side effect-free version, it means that you will neither be afraid of the seawater factor of Pirate World, nor will you explode and die after taking multiple pills. There was a slight drum in his heart, but Li Yiming was not too worried. Rather, although he said so, he didn't pay too much attention to this happening. Strictly speaking, he has not even eaten a devil fruit now, and the power of the thunder fruit is obtained from the system rewards after the time travel simulation is over. Therefore, even if the side effects of the devil fruit are removed, there are still cases where adverse reactions will occur after taking 2, but it will not have any effect. Why worry so much, give it a try. As he spoke, Li Yiming directly peeled off the devil fruit in front of him, and first sniffed it closely, but he didn't smell any bad smell, and then subconsciously opened his mouth and took a bite. The juice is full, the taste is not as good as expected, but it is not unpalatable. It seems that even the problem of taste has been solved, which is really considerate. After eating the space fruit in 2 or 3 bites, Li Yiming wiped his mouth, then closed his eyes and began to feel the situation in his body, feeling the newly born power. After a while, he finally noticed the changes in his body. With a thought, there was a wave of fluctuation in the space, and at the same time, ripples invisible to the naked eye appeared. Li Yiming's eyes stayed on a wooden chair not far away, and then under his control, the chair disappeared instantly, and when it reappeared, it was already in another place. This is the simplest use of space power, also known as space transfer. What a miraculous power, it disappears in the same place as if it has passed through time, and reappears in another place. Although there are faint fluctuations left, if you train properly, this little fluctuation can be completely eliminated, and you can even develop it. Other terrifying methods of use are simply invisible sharp weapons to kill people. When he thinks that he doesn't need to fight at all, and can instantly kill his opponent with just a look, and the latter doesn't know how he died, that kind of picture is very handsome when he thinks about it. Sure enough, training doesn't have any effect. Lying flat is the fastest way to become stronger. Li Yiming once again strengthened his mind. While it was still early, he didn't feel sleepy at all, so he started to develop the power of the space fruit, and the memories from his previous life naturally became the most perfect reference. However, it is obviously unrealistic to develop a powerful attack method in a short period of time. But for Li Yiming, he is not lacking in attack methods now. What the space fruit can provide him here is more for storing items and traveling long distances. As for the others, they probably won't be needed most of the time. Superior. In the blink of an eye, an hour passed. The quiet Oleli also began to become lively one after another. After a night of rain, the temperature in the originally steamy area had already dropped. This comfortable environment made many adventurers feel excited. Also became happy, and began to form a team to enter the dungeon to explore. There is no way, after all, most of Oleli's family members are exploration family members. Therefore, for the adventurers of the exploration family, entering the dungeon to explore, and obtaining magic stones by defeating monsters is the means for them to survive. No matter what time it is, money is very important. Catching the noise outside the Tower of Babel, Li Yiming also stood up slowly from the chair. It's almost time. It looks like I probably don't have time to rest right now, but fortunately I'm not tired. Even if I stay up for a few more days, there will be no problem. If it is in the previous life, after a high-intensity adventure, and then the basketball game was extremely fierce, and if I don't sleep now, I'm afraid I'll die suddenly. Today, I seem to be taking Kuina and the others to register as family members. Maybe I can take them to the dungeon to learn about the situation. Let's go now. Thinking of this, Li Yiming immediately released his domineering aura of knowledge, and found the location of Kuyuna and Bai Xing. As for the remaining reward, which is the existence of Piao Piao fruit, he doesn't plan to take it himself, mainly because it doesn't have much effect on him now. It's better to stay and talk about it later. Oh! The two little girls are actually staying together, and even Tsubaki is here, so it couldn't be more convenient. Let's take them to the Adventurers Guild now, and register as an adventurer by the way, but Shirahashi's existence is really it's a bit troublesome. After all, both her identity and appearance are very sensitive things. Thinking of this, Li Yiming also showed a troubled look. You must know that Bai Xing is still a child now. If she is harassed too much, it may have a great impact on her future growth. Since he brought it back to Oleli, he must be responsible for her future. It doesn't matter, if anyone wants to use their brains, then come here. I just experienced the exploration of the pirate world, and I don't mind making a big fuss in this world. As he said this, the smile on the corner of Li Yiming's mouth was also cold. He is well aware of the peeing nature of some adventurers, so if some guys really dare to stretch out their claws, then he doesn't mind chopping them up with his own hands. Even if the person who wants to plot evil is a god, there is no exception. Let's talk about this kind of thing after it happens. For now, it's better to do the right thing before talking about it. Muttering to himself, Li Yiming locked onto the location of Kuyuna's aura, and then there was a wave of space, and his figure instantly disappeared in place. In the dining room of He-Faith's family, Tsubaki and Kuyuna are sitting together having breakfast. In addition, there are many relatives in the restaurant. Clan members. As Goddess Faith Hitos said, the adventurers of the familia have returned one after another, and these old people showed curiosity to the two little girls sitting with Tsubaki. After an introduction, I learned that it turned out to be a newcomer who joined the family. Coupled with Bai Xing's special racial identity, he immediately became the focus of the scene. Just when the girl felt at a loss, a figure suddenly appeared next to the three girls. The familiar smell was captured instantly, Bai Xing's eyes lit up instantly, and her heart felt much more at ease. Yiming big brother. Hey, little white star, Kuyuna, good morning, did you sleep well last night? Li Yiming greeted the two little girls with a smile, and then he did not forget to nod to Chun, and sat beside Chun very naturally. Master, good morning, we slept very well last night, and the head of the group took good care of us. That's right, thank you, Tsubaki, it was something that I needed to do, but it turned out to be troublesome to you, and I really feel a little bit sorry in my heart. Hee, you should use this kind of words to deceive the little girl. Chun rolled his eyes angrily, obviously not accepting this. Actually, you don't have to be so polite with me, after all, I am also the head of the He Faith family. Mentoring new members is also one of my jobs, didn't even you, kid, be taken care of by me for a while. Having said that, Tsubaki's expression was a little guilty. After all, she didn't take Li Yiming for a long time at the beginning, it seemed like it was only once or twice, but in the end she was directly surpassed by this guy. Even in the expedition of the Loki family, he was the object of protection. However, this does not prevent Tsubaki from saying that no matter how powerful the adventurer becomes in the future, everything that happened when he was weak cannot be erased. Li Yiming never wanted to refute such words. Yes, it was really thanks to your help, leader. Of course, if I hadn't agreed, you wouldn't have been able to join the Faith family. So no matter how good your kid is in the future, don't forget to give me. With the thought of being grateful. While talking, Chun stretched out his hand to wrap around Li Yiming's neck, and punched his head with the other hand. I know, leader, I won't leave the Hedos familia, after all, there are many people I care about here in 1.2, so you don't have to worry about that kind of thing happening. Yes, that's good. Chun nodded clearly, and suddenly smelled something, his nose twitched obviously, to make sure that the smell he smelled was not wrong, his expression suddenly looked a little surprised. The next moment, her expression also showed a playful expression. Where was your boy last night? Something seems wrong. Ahem, didn't I get left by her Faith to talk? Of course, I found a spare room to rest after the talk. What do you think I did? Li Yiming coughed dryly twice, pretending to be calm on the surface, but his tone was a little guilty. Tsubaki had a panoramic view of his reaction, and her smile became more and more rippling. Oh? Really? I don't think that's the case, maybe. Hey, what, Captain, I'm going to take Kuina and Shirahoshi to visit Orari today, and go to the Adventurers Guild to register as adventurers. If there are any extra time, I still have to go to the dungeon, the time is a little rushed, so there is no delay. If you have anything to say, we can talk about it when we come back. As he said that, Li Yiming quickly broke free from Chun's imprisonment, fearing that the latter would continue to question him. He hurriedly said to Kuyuna and Bai Xing, Kuyuna, Bai Xing, all of you. Are you ready to eat? If everything is ready, let's go now. We're all done. The two girls nodded at the same time, and then they stood up straight. Hearing this sentence, Tsubaki didn't continue to pester her anymore, but the smile on her face didn't change at all, and even became brighter. Especially in the eyes looking at Li Yiming, there is an inexplicable meaning. Since that's the case, then I won't delay you too much, go back early and have fun. Understood, Captain. Chapter 160, The Taste of Elves? Promise with Aegina. Monthly ticket plus subscription required. Together with Kuina and Shirahoshi, the three left the weapon shop. Just as Li Yiming guessed, at the moment Bai Xing appeared, all the adventurers who saw her showed surprised expressions and looked at her with fiery eyes. After all, this is the first time a mermaid has appeared among Orario. Not only that, Shirahoshi is such a beautiful female mermaid, with a beauty that is not weaker than that of a god. No matter where she goes, she will become the biggest focus. The girl who lived in Fishman Island since she was a child, when she experienced such a scene, she was frightened and hid behind Li Yiming, holding the latter's sleeves tightly with both hands. Her pretty face was full of nervousness, even the palms began to overflow with faint sweat stains. The knowledgeable domineering sensed Bai Xing's inner fluctuation for the first time, and Ji Riming immediately showed a helpless expression. This little girl is still too shy and afraid of giving birth. It is impossible for him to prevent other people from seeing them, that would be too unreasonable, and that kind of reckless behavior is likely to create many enemies for the family. Although Li Yiming himself is not worried, it does not mean that other members of the family are not worried either. After all, you can use your powerful power to suppress everything, but you can't restrict other people's actions. If the Faith family is resisted by all adventurers because you have made too many enemies, then no one else will be needed hands-on. Other members of the family are very likely to have cracks. That's not what Li Yiming wants to see. Therefore, the only way to solve this situation now is to start from by seeing. As the princess of Fishman Island and the future king of the sea, it's not okay to be so shy. Even if she doesn't need to be decisive, at least she must be tough when needed. Little Bakesing, don't care about other people's gazes. No matter what they say, it's not a big deal. Don't be affected by other people's attitudes. There are many races in Olalai, and even other orc races are very common, so you don't have to worry about feeling different because of your specialness. Be a little bolder, and I am looking forward to your growth. The big hand stroked the girl's hair lightly, and the flustered girl instantly calmed down. Feeling Li Yiming's warm gaze, Bai Xing's cheeks were slightly rosy, then as if he had made up his mind, he nodded softly, I see, Yiming big brother, I will try work hard at 19, grow hard, and you will never be disappointed. That's good, let's work hard. You know, you and Kuina are from the same world. Apart from supporting each other, you can also compare each other, so don't be left behind too much, you know? Bai Xing nodded, his soft appearance and eyes also became firm. Seeing that the words had achieved their purpose, Li Yiming also smiled involuntarily. If you want to become a strong person in your own right, in addition to having strong strength, enough courage and mentality are also very important. For Shirahoshi now, courage is often more important. This feeling of personally cultivating a strong person is indeed very wonderful. It's no wonder that many people like to recruit apprentices everywhere, and then cultivate them into talents by themselves. The sense of accomplishment is really indescribable, and it is simply impossible to stop. At least, Li Yiming felt happy. Ignoring the sights of the adventurers around, Li Yiming took the two girls out of the Tower of Babel and walked towards the headquarters of the Adventurers Guild on Northwest Avenue. Along the way, I even met many gods. These fun people also saw Bai Xing, and their eyes lit up immediately. But before they came forward to say something, Li Yiming, in order to avoid trouble, pulled Bai Xing and Kuyuna with both hands to speed up, directly throwing off everyone who followed. After all, it's okay for adventurers, but if it's the entanglement of the gods, it will be a little troublesome. He is also unlikely to attack the gods now, so the best way is to just throw it away. However, during this process, Li Yiming also caught the line of sight from the Tower of Babel again. Even though it was extremely hot, it was also very obscure, but with his greatly increased strength, naturally he would not have the idea that it was an illusion. On the contrary, I am quite sure of it. Someone is indeed watching him. Is it Freya? Tisk, it's really troublesome. Being targeted by this kind of troublesome existence, I just don't know whether she is following me or Shirahoshi. If she is following me, it's okay to say, but if you focus on Bai Xing, it will be more troublesome, and it is impossible for me to follow Bai Xing all the time. In addition, the Hestia family has a lot of troubles, and if it's Tanjiro Kamado, he also has the potential to be targeted by Freya. Even if I'm not afraid, but thinking that the so-called beauty god has the ability to affect the memory of all adventurers, even gods, it always makes people feel awkward. However, this is not a bad thing. Maybe we can use it a little bit to divert our attention. Thinking this way in his heart, Li Yiming probably also had an idea. But before that, I still have to find the rabbit first, then take it with me, and go for a walk under the Tower of Babel to relieve the pressure a little. Although this kind of behavior is somewhat immoral, it is also a good way. After all, in Li Yiming's mind, he also wanted to recommend Belle to join Freya's family. If he could help him solve some troubles before that, it would be a great merit, and it would be regarded as repaying him. Point out a bright future for Belle. It seems that that matter has to be put on the agenda. I don't have much free time today, so let's save the search for Belle until tomorrow. After making up his mind, Li Yiming speeded up again. All the people he met along the way could only feel a gust of wind blowing past him, but he couldn't see any figure. Breaking into the Adventurers Guild like the wind, 3 figures suddenly appeared, making everyone in the Adventurers Hall subconsciously freeze in place. Afterwards, the crowd gave out shouts of surprise one after another. There is no need to think about it at all, it must be because of the existence of Bai Xing. After all, this is a new member of the race. How can adventurers not feel novelty? However, even if some people plan to come forward for a chat, after seeing Li Yiming's face clearly, almost everyone chose to stay away. The title of Monster Newcomer has just appeared not long ago, but it has already spread across the entire Oleli household name. Weak adventurers remain in awe of strong adventurers, which is one of Oleli's unspoken rules. This is Oleli's Adventurer Hall, and it is also one of the organizations responsible for managing all the adventurers in Oleli, maintaining the basic operation of this labyrinth city, especially the great god behind this organization, who is the oldest of all gods exist. You are newcomers. After joining the Faith family, you still need to come here for identity registration to obtain an identity. This is especially important for every adventurer. While telling the basic situation to the 2 girls, he led them towards the counter of the guild staff. Since it was the first time they came here, the novel buildings and decorations around them made them feel novel, looking around like 2 curious babies, and they did not forget to follow closely. It's here, it's here. After the voice fell, Li Yiming stopped at the same time. At some point beside him, there was a petite figure in very formal attire, looking very cute. His gaze rested on Bai Xing's body, showing the same expression as the others, but his gaze had to be polite. Phew. It's not so much surprise, it's better to say that it comes from curiosity. Miss He, are you okay? Ah. Miss He, who was staring at Bai Xing in a daze, came back to his senses in an instant, realized that he was rude just now, and immediately felt extremely ashamed. I'm sorry, Yiming-kun, it's because this lady is too beautiful, so I'm a little bit embarrassed. I was stunned, I'm really sorry. No, it's okay, in fact, we've gotten used to this kind of reaction along the way. Li Yiming smiled immediately, and shook his head very understandingly. Then let me formally introduce, this lovely girl is Miss Mi Xia, an ordinary employee of the Adventurers Guild, and also my new adventurer advisor. Members of He Faith's family, brought here today to register adventurer information. Nice to meet, Miss He, I'm Kuina, the Fat Factory. Kuina, who was well educated and also not shy of strangers, immediately leaned forward and introduced herself. Seeing this scene, Bai Xing at the side hurriedly bowed and said, Ah, I'm Bai Xing, nice to meet you, Master Miss He. The cherry-haired girl was obviously frightened by this address. She hurriedly waved her hands crazily, and said in a hurried tone, My lord is too exaggerated, just call me Miss He. Since you are the newcomers brought by Yiming-kun himself, then naturally it is also my friend. I will do my best to help you, please give me more advice in the future. The 3 girls all looked a little formal, and the atmosphere suddenly became extremely awkward. Realizing this, Li Yiming suddenly smiled helplessly. Okay, do you want to be so serious? We'll all be friends from now on, so let's be a little more casual. Miss He, can I ask you to register these 2 children? Of course there is no problem, this is also my job, please come with me. Words uttered without hesitation. Although Miss He likes to complain sometimes, She is still very serious when she is working, not to mention that this matter is still related to Li Yiming. Under the leadership of the girl, the Japanese also came to the spare sofa beside them. Regarding the registration of adventurer information, Li Yiming can't help. When Miss He and Kuina are dealing with other things, he is naturally wandering around boredly. The information posted on the bulletin board on the wall naturally became his weapon to pass the time. Hey, isn't this Mr. Yu Wu? Good morning. A sweet sound suddenly sounded beside him, followed by a burst of natural fragrance, giving people the feeling of being in a dense forest. Without turning his head, Ji Riming could clearly feel the identity of the visitor. This incomparably unique smell has only appeared on elves. He has smelled it on Riveria and Rifia. Different elves have different body fragrances. It can be said that each has its own merits, but its taste is still very characteristic. And in the Adventurers Guild, since she is an elf, she is also familiar with herself, and there is only a girl who is a half-elf, Aegina. Good morning, Miss Aegina, you are so beautiful today. He said this sentence very skillfully, so smoothly that even Li Yiming himself was a little surprised. I don't know if it's because of the wonderful experience with her faith, but Li Yiming always feels that his mentality has also changed a little bit. The previous sense of urgency has completely disappeared. Have to pay more attention. If it was before, he wouldn't have said such gibberish. Thank you for your compliment, Mr. Yiming, you are also very handsome today. Ina readily accepted Li Yiming's compliment, blushing and responded in the same way. I don't know why, but when she heard the boy's praise and saw the boy's smile, Aegina couldn't help but feel her heart beat faster, which was never before. The strange experience made this half-elf girl a little at a loss. She wanted to stop this reaction, but every time she heard about Li Yiming or saw Li Yiming's appearance, she couldn't help but want to understand and get closer. When staying by the other party's side, Aegina can always feel quiet and peaceful. By the way, Mr. Yiming, I haven't congratulated you on your successful upgrade. Not only did you upgrade in such a short period of time, but you also possess strength far beyond your current level. Back then, when you were sure that you were really. I was taken aback when I participated in the expedition of the Loki family and killed Hideos alone. However, maybe my words are a little redundant, but I also want to remind you, Yiming, never do things beyond your ability. Adventurers need to ensure their lives and safety. First priority, try not to do those risky things. Sure enough, you are indeed Aegina. 017. After hearing this sentence, this idea flashed in Li Yiming's mind. No matter when, I can hear such a classic sentence from Aegina. I only heard it in the original book before, but now it falls on me. It feels really complicated. However, he didn't feel that Aegina was long-winded. After all, he knew the situation of the latter very well. As a staff member of the Adventurers Guild, it is not that Aegina has served as an adventurer's newcomer advisor, but there is no doubt that almost all of the adventurers she was in charge of remained behind. In the dungeon, it is difficult for people to accept the feeling that a friend whom I met yesterday died suddenly. Therefore, the kind-hearted Aegina is used to telling all adventurers not to do things beyond their capabilities, and not to go to floors beyond their capabilities. After all, compared to losing one's life, even a little less income is no big deal. It's a pity that most adventurers didn't take this advice to heart, so naturally, they paid the price for their actions. Being able to make Aegina say this kind of words to you proves that she really cares about you and is really worried about your safety, otherwise she would not care about the life and death of a stranger. Thinking of this, a faint smile appeared on Li Yiming's face. Well, I remember Miss Aegina's words, I will pay attention to it. I will not enter the dungeon very much recently, and even if I do, I will only bring my little apprentice with me. We hang out on the upper floors, so there is no need to worry about safety issues. I will protect myself and protect them. 11. Miss Aegina, there are many people in Oleli who care about me, so I will not give up my life. No matter what the situation is, I will survive tenaciously. The gentle gaze made Aegina slightly taken aback, and then her expression instantly relaxed. Then we have made an agreement, Mr. Yiming, no matter what, you must survive, no matter who it is for. No problem. The two looked at each other and smiled, their eyes rolling, and everything was said in silence. A moment later, Aegina was the first to lose the battle, and changed the subject without moving her expression. Mr. Yiming, just now I heard from my colleagues that the monster rookie brought the mermaid to the guild. Inside, are those two girls newly recruited by the god Faith? Ah, that's right, they are indeed newcomers. I brought them here to register today. So that's the case, then I don't know, can Yiming-kun grant me a small request? Aegina asked again. Li Yiming was stunned for a moment, not knowing what Aegina meant. The latter seemed to see what he was thinking, and explained with a smile, it's like this, I want to be the newcomer consultant for those two children and be responsible for providing them with guidance. I wonder if it is possible. It turns out that this matter, I can't help them agree, let them make up their own minds. That's right. Seemingly realizing that her behavior was inappropriate, Aegina immediately apologized. Chapter 161 Buy one get one free. Hestia who blew herself up on her own initiative. Thanks to 15217. For the monthly pass. Yiming-kun, the adventurer information of Ms. Kuina and Ms. Shirahoshi has been registered, so should I be responsible for their newcomer advisors? Or should I still be like Ms. Butterfly and the others? While Li Yiming was chatting with Aegina, Xia, who had finished entering the basic information, walked straight to them with the two girls. Hearing this sentence, Li Yiming also stopped chatting. Thank you for your help, Miss Misha. No, this is what I should do. There was no resistance to Li Yiming's smile at all, Xia's cheeks were slightly rosy, and there was a hint of joy on his face. And this scene fell into Aegina's eyes. The half-elf girl didn't know what to think of, and suddenly showed a complicated expression, but she was not noticed by others. About the matter of newcomer advisors, I thought about it for a while, and it really is necessary. After all, Kuina and the others will need to be alone sooner or later, and it is impossible for me to accompany them all the time, and because of the gap in strength, I will go they can't enter the place, so it's better to find a reliable newcomer consultant, if possible. I will trouble you, Miss Misha. As he spoke, Li Yiming's gaze suddenly turned to Aegina who was at the side. Recalling what the girl said just now, he continued, of course, if Miss Aegina is willing to help, it would be great, after all, you are both very good candidates for new recruits, Kuina and Shirahoshi, it's a great thing to have your guidance. Aegina and Misha froze almost at the same time. They didn't expect that Li Yiming would take the initiative to say such words. Especially Aena, when she came back to her senses, her expression became very gentle, her eyes were fixed on Li Yiming's cheeks, her eyes were moist. Since it's your request from Mr. Yiming, I will try my best to fulfill it. Me too, Yiming-kun, don't worry, I will teach them about adventurers, and definitely let them become senior adventurers in the shortest possible time. The two women scrambled to respond, their voices full of firmness. That's really troublesome to you, I still have to take the two little girls to visit Oleli, so see you next time. After finishing the work, Li Yiming exchanged some pleasantries again, and said goodbye to Aegina and Misha directly. Immediately afterwards, he left the Adventurers Guild with Kuina and Shirahoshi, strolled on the Adventurers Avenue, and at the same time started walking in other directions towards Oleli. I will live here for a long time in the future, so it is also a good choice to learn about the specific situation a little bit. Of course, it is inevitable to face some strange eyes along the way. Fortunately, after Li Yiming's previous comfort, Bai Xing also deliberately changed his situation, even though he was panicked to death, he still pretended to be calm and followed behind the two. In any case, this kind of progress can already be said to be quite large. Li Yiming didn't force too much, just take it slowly. Sooner or later, the current situation will be changed, so as to become a truly mature and capable Sea King. Fresh potato balls, you can buy them for only 50 fares. This is the potato balls made by the goddess herself. It doesn't taste good and you don't need money. The sudden yelling sounded in his ear, which instantly attracted Li Yiming's attention. He subconsciously looked in the direction of the sound, and saw Hestia wearing familiar clothes, and the iconic blue ribbon in front of her was particularly bright, and at the same time, her capital was firmly protected, bearing the weight that should not have been borne. So, why did this lowly goddess start selling potato balls? Obviously, the family has been established, and the strength of the members should not be underestimated. The strength can be said to be quite excellent. Although there is no way to become rich in a short period of time, at least there is no problem in living a good life, so why did Tia come out to sell potato balls again? Is this a coincidence or inevitability? Thinking with some doubts in his heart, Li Yiming's expression was slightly strange. However, Kuina and Shirahoshi, who were following him, seemed to be attracted by the loud yelling, and when they found out that the clerk selling potato balls was actually a god, their expressions instantly became very surprised. This is completely different from the gods in your imagination. Master, that lord should also be a god. Is it really okay to sell snacks there? Ah, don't make such a big fuss. Li Yiming, who came back to his senses, smiled lightly, and then explained, I said before that the gods reached an agreement before the lower realms, no matter which god it is, they need to seal their divine power. This also means that the god is just an ordinary person in Orario, who will feel hungry and tired and naturally need to eat and rest. Therefore, if you want to buy the necessities of life, you need a certain amount of funds, which is the currency fairy in Oleli's circulation, so it is not unusual to see gods who work part-time, but this phenomenon is not particularly common. Now, the vast majority of gods have their own children to serve them, and there is no need to go to such a place to show their faces, unless they are some poor gods whose life is particularly difficult. Of course, the petite goddess in front of me is an exception, no matter if she does any uncharacteristic things, don't be surprised. I see, Kuina and Shirahoshi nodded knowingly. Suddenly, the girl seemed to have heard the deep meaning in Li Yiming's words, and asked softly, Master, do you know that god? Of course, that's God Hestia, and Hestia is a good friend of God, and we often meet each other, but I didn't expect that God Hestia would even bring the family together. It's so strange to go out to work again. Li Yiming scratched his head, suddenly thought of something, turned his head and asked, by the way, Kuina, do you want to try fried potato balls? Although it is a cheap snack, but the taste is not bad, and in a way, it can be regarded as Oleli's specialty. Is it okay? Hearing this sentence, the two little eyes immediately burst into light. Naturally, the refreshing fragrance in the air could not escape their noses. They had never smelled this kind of smell before, and the two girls wanted to taste this novel food very much. However, out of embarrassment, they did not dare to ask for it. Of course, it's not a rare food. Let me treat you today. Let's take you to have fun. By the way, I'll show you the god of Hestia. Let's go. Both hands patted the backs of the heads of Kuina and Shirahoshi lightly, and then led the two cubs towards Hestia's direction. At this time, the lowly goddess didn't feel the arrival of her acquaintance at all. Holding a fried potato ball in her hand, she tried her best to recommend it to the adventurers who came and went on the street. Even if she was rejected, she still didn't feel discouraged at all, but I never got tired of it. It feels like you are enjoying this kind of life. God Hestia, long time no see. Li Yiming stopped, stood in front of the booth and said hello. The familiar voice made Hestia turn around, and the moment she saw Li Yiming, her expression was full of surprise. "Mr. Yiming, long time no see, why are you here?" "They are." Glancing at Kuina and Shirahoshi from the corner of her eye, Hestia's smile froze instantly. The next moment, the potato balls in the hands of Goddess Loli slipped to the ground in an instant, and her eyes were like flashlights, radiating a terrifying light, and they came to Chu Xing in an instant. "Damn it, is this child a mermaid? This is the first time I've seen a mermaid, it's so beautiful." The sudden movement made Bai Xing feel flustered again, but she didn't feel the slightest malice in Hestia's body. At the same time, thinking of Li Yiming's encouraging eyes, the girl finally suppressed the pain in her heart. Nervous, he tried to look at the petite god in front of him. Not only that, she even took the initiative to say hello. "Hello, Lord Hestia, my name is Shirahoshi, very, very nice to meet you." "So your name is Bai Xing, what a nice name." Shira Xing with extremely ruddy cheeks made Hestia fall in love with him even more, and he stretched out his right hand. "I'm Hestia, nice to meet you, little white star." After a brief handshake, Gina introduced herself. "They are all very cute children, it is hard not to be loved by the goddess Lolita." Thinking of this, Hestia immediately moved to Li Yiming's side, and tried to stand on tiptoe, but the height gap was too big, so that even if she tried her best, she still couldn't get close to Li Yiming's ear. This kind of scene was a bit embarrassing. "Mr. Yiming, come down a little bit, I have something to tell you." "What's the matter, Yashin?" Li Yiming was puzzled, but he still bent down obediently. "It's like this, Mr. Yiming, I really like these two children, can I let them join my family?" He, God Hestia, you said it too late. Kuina and Shirahoshi have joined He Faith Tas family, and they are also very popular with He Faith Tas. If you want to poach someone, you should give up as soon as possible. Well, otherwise, if Faith Tas finds out, the consequences will be very serious. When saying this, Li Yiming also showed a weird smile. "Call, is it too late? What a pity." Hestia instantly showed a very unwilling expression, but she didn't mention this matter again. Although the relationship between her and her faith is very good, it's okay to ask for help occasionally, but it's better not to do such things as poaching. After all, the current members of the family are all poached from the He Faith family. If you do this again, let alone Hestia's reaction, Hestia will feel very embarrassed. This kind of thing affects the friendship between them. Therefore, no matter how greedy the cute Murloc is, Hestia can only give up. "Don't worry about being disappointed, God Hestia," Li Yiming said with a smile as if seeing Goddess Lolita's frustration. "Although Bai Xing can't join your family, but you want other if the mermaid joins your family, it is still possible." Hestia, who was originally very depressed, was resurrected with full blood the moment she heard these words. Looking up at Li Yiming's faint smile, Goddess Loli seemed to realize something, quickly zoomed in, glanced around, and made sure that everyone's attention was on Bai Xing, not paying attention to her conversation with Li Yiming. Only then did he speak softly. "The noise is so deep that if the distance is not close enough, it may not be able to hear clearly. Yiming-kun, so Bai Xing-chan is not from this world, but you brought Olalai here from another world." Bursts of aroma come out, warm breath. Touching the side of his ear, the crisp and itchy feeling made his heart restless, and the landscape from this angle is also unobstructed. Unfortunately, Hestia herself didn't seem to notice it. That's right, like Yoyayubayashiki, both Shirahoshi and Kuina are members from another world, and Shirahoshi is also a mermaid princess from another world, living in Mermaid Island. There are also many lovely mermaids, which are quite in line with your requirements, God Hestia, but I can't help you if you can let them willingly join your family. Shrugging slightly, Li Yiming said with a smile, but his eyes didn't move at all. Hestia, who didn't know this at all, felt pleasantly surprised. That's really great, I didn't expect that there would be such a magical race in the new world. Want to see it? As she said that, Goddess slowly turned her head, and her sight was full of Lu Meng. However, she suddenly noticed that Li Yiming's gaze had shifted, and she realized something in an instant. Her cheeks blushed, and she glared at Li Yiming reproachfully. Mr. Yiming, you are really dishonest. Sorry, I can't blame you for this, the main reason is that you are too charming, God Hestia, so I was attracted to you involuntarily, please forgive my previous offense. The little trick was discovered, but Li Yiming did not feel embarrassed at all. Since he thought about some things clearly, there has also been an obvious change in his way of dealing with people, at least not because of the casual driving of female drivers. In his view, the pursuit of beautiful things seems to have nothing to hide. But after hearing his praise, the shyness on Hestia's pretty face became more obvious, and she was very happy in her heart, but she was still very serious on the surface. Cough, since you have apologized, Mr. Yiming, then I will forgive you. After all, I also know how attractive being a god is to you children, but don't do this kind of thing again in the future. I'm fine, if it's other gods, it's likely to cause big trouble for Faith. No, I can't either. I promised her Faith at the beginning that I would be good friends with her forever. Even in terms of feelings, we should choose someone we both like. Zhao Li's, Huan's opposite S**x, so if Mr. Yiming really has this idea, he should work hard to improve himself. For it. For these words, Li Yiming didn't know how to respond. Rather than saying that he didn't know what to say, it would be better to say that he was deeply attracted by a certain sentence in Hestia's words at the moment, so that his expression became very strange. No wonder her Faith wasn't particularly angry in the morning. Did something like this happen that he didn't know about? However, there is no such thing mentioned in the original book. So, is this giving him benefits? Buy one get one free? Mr. Yiming, are you listening? I heard it, God Hestia, I will remember your teaching today, and then work hard, you can rest assured. Li Yiming, who came back to his senses, responded with a strange face, and his eyes became strange. Although she was a little uncomfortable being stared at, Hestia still couldn't feel the deep meaning in the other party's eyes, and instead sighed softly, then I wish you good luck, but after. I would like to trouble Mr. Yiming to take me to another world, I want to see what the new world is like. Of course there is no problem, God Hestia, you can come to me at any time, my door is always open for you. Oh, in terms of my relationship with Hestia, it doesn't need to be so formal, it's easy to call me Hestia. Then I'll offend you a little bit, Hestia. The change of title means a further step in the relationship. Looking at the smiling lowly goddess, Li Yiming suddenly felt that she became more and more lovely. By the way, Hestia, why did you come here to sell potato balls? Yaze, don't they go into the dungeon every day? The annual income should be enough for the family to live on. Right? Is something wrong? No, that's not the case. It's just that I don't want to be a burden, so I come out to work during the day to help the children reduce their burden. Hestia quickly waved her hand and explained. Chapter 162 Loki's Lifetime Enemy. The white rabbit who hurt the fish in the pond suffered miserably. Monthly ticket plus subscription required. After figuring out the specific situation, Li Yiming also nodded slightly in understanding. As long as nothing major happened, it would be fine, lest I deliberately bring a gifted existence to Olele, only to be thrown away by Hestia within a few days, it would be a big loss. Since nothing happened, I'm relieved. By the way, Hestia, please help us make 4 fried potato balls. As for the taste, let's unify it into red bean cream. No problem, just leave it to me, my craftsmanship will definitely not let you down, look. Patting himself on the chest swearingly, Hestia's face showed infinite confidence. After some serious cooking, 4 fried potato balls have been made. After paying enough coins, Li Yiming only took away 3 of them, leaving the remaining 1 for Hestia, which made the smile of goddess Loli become even brighter. Then Hestia, we won't disturb your work, let's go first. Well, Mr. Yiming, I will find time to find you. Don't forget what you promised me. It seemed that Hestia was afraid that Li Yiming would forget. Don't worry, I won't forget, let's go first. After waving to Hestia, Li Yiming left the stall with the 2 cubs and continued to wander around while tasting the fried potato balls made by Chu Stove God. Although the production process is very simple, but the taste is really very good. Seeing the cute faces of Kuyuna and Bai Xin, who were blushing and full of enjoyment, Li Yiming also smiled slightly, feeling very happy in his heart. After playing in Oleli for a long time, I naturally didn't forget to introduce the specific buildings to Gina. During this period, Li Yiming naturally did not forget to search for the target person, but maybe it was because of luck that he did not meet Belle Cranel. This kind of search efficiency is really too low, and Li Yiming has no good solution for this. Knowledge-colored domineering can only perceive other people's aura, but cannot see the specific appearance of other people, so if he doesn't know the specific aura of Belle Cranel, he can't find it through knowledge-colored domineering, and it takes a lot of trouble. It is also easy to attract the attention of those who want to look for someone.